Deep in the realms of automotive history, legends and mysteries collide. Once lost to the sands of time, rarely are these cars rediscovered. This is one of those rare moments. Seen in the wild in the background of an online ad, this mysterious G-wagon, crafted by the legendary AMG, beckons us to unravel its secrets. Who dared to commission this extraordinary vehicle? What prompted AMG, renowned for their high-octane racing pursuits, to venture into uncharted territory? The answers lie in the fascinating intersection of 1980s Middle Eastern excess, tennis greatness, and two Czechoslovakian countrymen with two very different stories. Join us on an exhilarating journey as we unearth the untold tale of the very first AMG G-wagon.
Ein revolutionierend neues Musiksystem. Philips Compact Disc Digital Audio.
From Philips' public announcement of the first compact disc to the United States and China establishing full diplomatic relations, 1979 was a vivid year globally. The disco era was fading, but the charts were still topped by Donna Summer's Bad Girls. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union held firm, with its grip extending to the likes of Czechoslovakia and beyond.
7,000 had been killed.
The unstable condition of the Middle East loomed as the Iranian Revolution gained momentum. The last Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, sought asylum in Egypt, which gave rise to power for Ayatollah Khomeini.
The Shah and his Empress left shortly before midday.
The Shah of Iran's fall from power worried many executives at Mercedes, as he persuaded Daimler-Benz to develop the G-wagon, ordering 20,000 units for his military. Several decades of post-World War II growth under its belt made Daimler-Benz eager to expand its innovative history, setting its sights on knocking out the Range Rover. In 1973, the utility vehicle department at Daimler-Benz began sketching what is without a doubt the most successful SUV design of all time. Development sketches became wooden models, and by 1974, prototypes had been sent to the ends of the globe for strenuous trials. Mercedes developed the G-wagon to Shah Pahlavi's military specifications. Molded by the harsh Middle Eastern landscape, tested in the frigid Arctic, the W460 platform became globally relevant as a rugged off-roader that was so robust, the original design was left nearly untouched for more than 3 decades. Best of all, it still carried the prestige of the three-pointed star, resulting in its adoption by AMG and other tuners of the era, to make it ever more unique for their ultra-wealthy customers. Just 1 year later, in 1980, Mercedes executed one of the most incredible PR strategies, gifting Pope John Paul II a custom G-Class with a specialty-built, bulletproof viewing platform for his tour of Germany. Instantly, this became the Popemobile, and the standard for G-Wagon customization was set. In parallel to the development of the G-Wagon, the 70s saw an economic boom in the Middle East that changed the automotive industry forever. With industrial-scale oil exploration, black gold began generating tremendous fortunes for several Arab countries, instantly creating a new global dynamic. At the same time, Germany's automotive tuning culture was thriving, and this newfound wealth in the Middle East was eager to spend its money on Western innovation. The tuners of the day were too many to count, but for many of them, the 80s saw a shift from technical tuning, which focused on engine improvements, to optical tuning. As the tuning scene entered into the 1980s, it was swept into the extravagance and excess of the era. Fenders started flaring, wheels got wider, and interiors leapt into the future. From Wall Street magnates to Saudi royals and superstar athletes, the money poured in and the innovation pumped out. Coach builders like SGS Styling Garage were converting W126s into gull-wing coupes with Clarion radios and Falcon shifter heads. Daimler-Benz's production of the G-Wagon included a range of long and short wheelbase models with 4-door, 2-door and cabrio options, equipped with the ability to drive nearly anywhere. This versatility on and off the road made the G-Wagon a perfect platform for the luxurious desert cruisers desired by the Arab sheikhs. It's rumored that in the early 80s, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Dubai and part of the UAE's ruling family, commissioned AMG, best known for its infamous win at the 24 Hours of Spa with the 300 SEL 6.8 dubbed the Red Pig, to build 5 custom 280 GE conversions. These rare images proved that AMG undoubtedly tuned several G-wagons. Among the most notable alterations was a crossbreeding in which AMG placed the front end of a W116 onto the G-wagon chassis. This at the request of their royal clients, who wanted to integrate the appearance of their diplomatic vehicles.
For us, the story of this car started when I received a message from Pierre Hadari, and it was a Craigslist ad. And he said, look at this picture. And then the picture was kind of a scrap-worthy ponton or something like that, like a parts car. I said, hey, really not interested, we don't want to restore anything. He said, no, look at the background. Look at the parking garage. Look 3 floors up. He said, there's something there, it's a G-Wagon, but it's not a G-Wagon. And that's when I knew we had something different.
Perplexed by this automotive anomaly, Daniel and Victor were fully captivated. They needed to know more. What exactly was it? Who commissioned it? And why? This Craigslist conundrum needed to be solved, so Victor tracked down and reached out to the seller.
I reached out to the guy who had the Craigslist ad up, and he said, yeah, actually that's my dad's car. That's a G-Wagon, custom-made G-Wagon, and he started telling us more about the car. And he said he would talk to him about it because he knew his father loved the car very much and he wasn't really looking to sell it. It wasn't for sale. He still was saying, no, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell it. But he was, he gave me a lot of information about the car.
When we first heard the price of the car, we knew something special, knew something different. There was no benchmark for it to hold it against. And the guy not just knew the car was valuable, but he loved it and drove it every day, which I think was remarkable. I didn't think he'd give it to us. I thought it was something that he'd just hold on to, but made it happen.
Hesitant to part ways with this special unicorn, Joseph took a few days to consider the lucrative offer and eventually accepted that the car was destined for Boca Raton, to be shared with the world.
The front-end conversions were really done to give that regal, diplomatic feel, because you wanted your G-Wagon, but you also wanted the front of your luxury sedan to kind of move over to it. Just like we saw with Styling Garage making 600 nose SEL limos. They would take the front of a 600 Pullman and put that on there to really kind of give that historic diplomatic look. In talking to collectors globally, we really can't find many of these around at all. Actually none. We don't know of any other examples that are available for public display, available in a collection.
Imagine the sheer astonishment on Hartmut's face when the founder of the legendary Mercedes tuner, Rentek, and a pioneer from AMG's early days walked into the hallowed halls of the Patina Collective, his eyes locked on to the rare unicorn before him. You see, Hartmut had actually laid his hands on this very car 4 decades ago, and since then it had slipped into the shadows of obscurity.
Yeah, we built, I don't know, a handful of these, with the grill. Another one too with the Recaro seats that had also individual Recaro seats in the back.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that's for the falconry.
Yeah, and then we built one, photo with a hatch.
Yes, to do a falconry.
And then we had the seat benches.
They made a hatch for the falcons. You can just release them.
Yeah, with a stand, and then inside some stands.
That's awesome.
And then it had a falcon had a shift knob. Yeah.
Falconry is a rich cultural tradition in the Middle East, where it has been practiced for centuries as both a sport and a symbol of prestige. Falcons, especially the majestic peregrine falcon, are meticulously trained and used for hunting in the vast deserts, reflecting the enduring bond between humans and these magnificent birds in the heart of the Arabian heritage.
It's been how long since you've seen a G-Wagon conversion like this with a W160 front? Over 30 years.
Man that worked at AMG in the early years has touched pretty much every type of AMG car, every type of Mercedes out there, that he would come and look at this car and say, I have never seen another one of these since I left AMG.
Yeah.
So even a man that touches those many cars hasn't seen another one until he came to the Patina Collective. So that was a lot of validation that, yeah, these aren't out there.
You know, I went to the dealer here. Everybody ran, what kind of car is this? I said, guys, that's an AMG. That's not regular G-wagon, that's an AMG. And I told him there's only one of two in the world. You know, even I live in a communist country, one of the cars was a Mercedes-Benz. 250, I bought in a 74. So, and that's a car when I escaped from Czechoslovakia with this Mercedes with whole family.
The citizens of Prague knew the full meaning of occupation by force. The Russians, while supposedly their allies, were not wanted.
So my name is Joseph Jasig, and I am owner of German Auto House in Newhall, California. I am Mercedes man, and my family, everybody drive Mercedes only. I was lucky to be owner of the 300 Gelandewagen AMG. I was looking for this kind of car for a long time, for years. And one day I looking Hemmings, and was there, 300 GD for sale. So I called guy who was in Connecticut. I say, hey, I want to buy this car. I said, okay. So we make deal. I send him check. I didn't see even car, but I wanted car. So I send him money, bring a car here. All G-wagons, the special cars. And these are not special of the specials. So I feel like I was lucky in my life to own something like this, you know. I have a big fun with this car. I own almost every weekend to mountains, rivers, bad roads, whatever I can make it. Down to Grand Canyon, Indian Reservation, snow, we wake up morning, like 2 foot of snow. I say, good. I trust this car, I just make it, and it was good. I really love this car. I really, you know, I have like feeling to the car.
Upon assuming ownership, Joseph didn't let this automotive legend languish in a garage as a mere trophy. He made it his trusty steed for daily adventures, conquering rugged off-road terrain, plunging into daunting canyons, and embracing the challenge of snow-covered landscapes. But little did Joseph know that beneath the surface of this already remarkable G-Wagon lay a hidden treasure.
Somebody painted white, cheap paint job, and you know, but I have a lot of fun with this paint job, going to mountains and rivers and whatever, you know, I don't worry scratch. But one day come, you know, my tab was bad, and I said, well, it's time to restore this car. I bought it, bring it here. I redone seats, those Recaro seats, and I said, let's do paint that whole car. So we started sending car down, and we found it on the white paint, 3 colors. What is now? Says, oh. So we clean up everything. I found the numbers of the Mercedes-Benz Burgundy. All 3 colors, what is in the side, is a Mercedes color from 78. And that's we painted like was original, come from factory. So that's I restored this car. And after I didn't draw it too much to mountains, I was just like preserving now, and you know, grandkids and all this stuff going on.
When we made contact with Joseph, he started talking a little bit about Ivan Lendl. But usually when people say they have a celebrity car or a famous person's car, there's some photos or paperwork you got to trace back and look at old physical paperwork.
Right.
Here, what's the amazing thing is that when we received it, we saw, oh my God, the guy's name is actually stamped on the VIN plate for this car for importation in the US.
Tennis was in its golden era. Globally, the sport evolved from a quaint pastime to an invigorating spectator sport. Early in the decade, Sweden's Bjorn Borg and bad boy John McEnroe battled it out for world number 1. However, the domination came to an end when a young Czechoslovakian player by the name Ivan Lendl bested McEnroe at the 1984 French Open, never to look back. Lendl played a new style of tennis that earned him the world number 1 status from 1985 to 87. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
I did see some Mercedes growing up, obviously, but that was when the German people were driving through Czechoslovakia. We didn't have those cars there for sale. To me, tennis was the most important thing, and what car I drive to get there and back doesn't really matter. No, you're just having fun. When you play sports, I imagine all sports, you just want to have fun, because if you play for any other reason, you're not going to get where you eventually do get. You want to make the team, then you want to make the next team, and the goals just change as you get older and better. But mostly it's just having fun. I mean, if I was bad or brought a bad grade from school and I got banned from tennis, that was the biggest punishment there could be, because I wouldn't have fun.
And there's Ivan Lendl. Now, he's had a fantastic season. He won the Orange Bowl tournament at the beginning of the year, and he's cleaned all the junior titles available to him. In Europe, he's won in Italy, again in Paris, and now here at Wimbledon. And easily the outstanding junior player of the year.
Rumours swirled round regarding the car's origin. Was it built by a sheikh who gifted it to Ivan Lendl? Did he play in the Middle East and win it in a tournament? Was it a gift from Mercedes? Or was it a splurge after winning the French Open? There was only one way to find the truth.
Well, it's pretty simple. Mercedes was a big sponsor of tennis tournaments, and there was a Mercedes Cup in Stuttgart. And while we were there, we would always go and visit the factory and curious how they make the cars, but we also would get driving lessons. And at one of the driving lessons, I believe in Weissach, I saw this car. And it was there, it was a car being used by the factory, and I bought a used factory car, had about 10,000 kilometers on it. I don't know how much I bought it for exactly, but it would be around 10,000 marks. The way it looked, I couldn't drive it. I normally buy a car and don't do anything to it, just drive it. 2.5 years later, I turn it in and get a new one. But with this one, we talked about it, and I'm not really sure who came up with that, but I said, can I have just the front lights, because they look terrible to me, just like they are on normal Mercedes? And they said, yes, leave it at AMG, and they did it. I did not know about AMG. I spoke to the Mercedes people saying, you know, this front, they say, well, if you leave it at AMG, they can change that.
This seemingly trivial decision to modify the front end would become more and more paramount as time passed. At the time a small tuner aiding Mercedes with special projects, AMG's evolution into one of the most influential brands globally, in some respects passing Mercedes itself, makes this unicorn G-Wagon a timeless trophy of automotive innovation. With this particular example distinct against the handful of others having no ties to the Middle East.
I guess they were not so surprised, and they knew how to do that, since I asked the same thing as people in the Middle East were asking. Yeah. Actually, I did play in Dubai, but I have never been to Middle East other than that. Mm-hmm. And so if people thought I went there, played there, bought it, and brought it here, no, it came straight from Stuttgart. Something tells me I went to pick it up at JFK. But it could also be that they delivered it to the dealership in Greenwich, Connecticut. That was my home at that time, was Greenwich, Connecticut, and I used it mostly for myself when I went golfing, when I went hiking with the dogs and things like that. I love the idea of having a car where you just throw stuff in, don't worry about it, don't worry about how dirty it gets, and just drive it.
So what did he think about his car being enshrined in a museum as the rarest G-Wagon ever made?
I think it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing to me, because when I was getting the car, I never thought about anything like that. And I was told that the car was one of the first few, if not the first, Gelandewagen imported into the States. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But again, didn't mean that much to me. Okay, so I got the car I really liked. If I went skiing or for a hike with the dogs or anything. I had a great car to do that, and that's all I really wanted.
After around 10 years of ownership, Lendl sold the car to a friend, unexpectedly resulting in an inconceivable thread of this car's tale.
I sold it to a friend of mine, a gentleman called Warren Bosworth, who was a guru in tennis rackets, stringing, just like AMG in cars. He's that in tennis. And he bought it from me, and then it was still in Connecticut, and then he moved to Florida, to Boca. And that's how the car ended up in Boca. And I would come and visit his office because he was like second father to me, and the car would stand in front of the office.
So you've seen this car in Boca Raton before then?
Yes, yes, many times. I mean, I played till '94, and I want to say I've seen it even after that.
For him to be back 30 odd years later in Boca Raton with the car was a real full circle moment.
Ivan and Warren Bosworth, his trusted racket specialist, like a father figure for him, had made memories in this car. It was evident that reuniting with this unique car in Boca Raton some 30 years later resurfaced some of those positive emotions, underscoring the fact that these hunks of metal and leather are deeper than just that.
It's crazy, the cycle is crazy.
Yeah. It's still shocking us right now. You taught us that today.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to me. I'm speechless about these things. But I will come and visit it in the museum when you have it. I would love to see that.
Upon receiving this unicorn, the Patina team were in awe, radiating a magisterial energy. Unbeknownst to them at the time, this marked the car's return to the Kingdom of Boca Raton. Unlike any G-Wagon delivered before it, this car was on a level of its own.
Fell in love instantly. The car drives immaculately. It has a whole different vibe than any other car.
I feel bad just calling it a car. When you see when I first saw this unicorn, this art piece, this culmination of beauty and engineering, I was like, wow, this thing is beautiful, and also freakish to look at the same time. It's really kind of confusing to look at.
Yeah.
It was love at first sight. The distinct front end, the unique paint, the driving ease, the perfectly cracked and patinaed AMG decal, the custom fender flares and the BBS wheels, the rare, never-seen-before AMG stamp on the front bumper. This car is a testament to a golden era of tuning, showing signs of age and use, but still standing strong. An AMG car from the early days that has withstood the test of time.
We love it. It's a wild build all around, inside out, wild build, unicorn in many ways.
Once it was in California, I thought, okay, that's just going to stay there with somebody until they run it into the ground, and you guys found it and bought it.
I was lucky to be owner of the 300 G-wagon AMG built for Ivan Lendl. There's only one kind of the car. Ivan Lendl owned this car, and I, little guy, own this car. You know, and I'm happy it's in the museum and it's preserved.
The Patina Collective acquired this unicorn, hidden in the depths of a Craigslist ad. They began piecing the story together, so full of serendipity one might wonder if it's not instead a divine journey. From an incidental front-end modification by AMG via one of the most influential Czechoslovakian athletes, to another Czechoslovakian who cherished the car and recognized its singularity, leaving Boca Raton and returning decades later to be preserved for generations to come.
Driving around the town, you know, among palm trees once again, this car's had an amazing journey and has amazing owners. And you know, each of these cars really tells a story. So that's what the Patina Collective is about.
It's a never-ending mission. These cars, they came a long way. They were very special to a lot of people, and they came from special people, and that's what the Patina Collective is about. Finding these cars, documenting them, bringing them back to life, bringing them back to light, and showing them off in a way they've never been showed before. And we're going to be doing much more deep dives on the guys who own these cars, the people that own these cars, the wild ones, the wild minds that helped build this era of Mercedes tuning in the 80s and 90s.
Behind every tuner Mercedes lies a story of its owner, a unique individual who values the finer things in life. From successful business executives to renowned celebrities, each Mercedes-Benz reflects the personality and achievements of its owner. These stories are full of serendipity, chance encounters, and unexpected twists, sometimes leading us full circle, back to where we started. Join us as we take a journey through time and uncover the beauty, the history, and the soul of these rare masterpieces.